What's going on YouTube? So most Hyundais nowadays are known for having a lot of value and very bold designs. And that has certainly applied to this latest generation of the Tucson. But now for 2025, it's time for this popular product to see an extensive refresh. So with an updated exterior look, heavily revised interior, and lots of tech improvements, is this even more ready than ever to take on RAV4 and CR-V? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So let's get started here with the exterior design. Now, like I said at the intro, we do have some updates to this overall exterior look. And this vehicle has always had, just a really bold design. Hyundai's not fundamentally changing that, but they made a few tweaks here just to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. The main thing you're going to notice is that this is a little bit more squared off than it was before. So what they've kind of done to the grille is kind of bring it in, squared off a little bit. They've also added this new lower fascia. This gives it a little bit of a tougher presence with these surrounds. And since we have the limited trim level, we're also going to get this like gloss black finish across the fascia, as well as a gloss black finish on our emblems. Now, the lighting, though, that's always really been the boldest thing about this generation of the Tucson. So this is going to have your daytime running light, which is actually kind of hidden into the grille, since these actually are the daytime running lights. As you can see, that does have a different shape again this year. Your turn signal is going to be your top two. And then in a separate housing, this is the headlight itself. So you will have LED headlights across the entire lineup. If you get the limited, these are going to be projector LEDs. Now, depending on the powertrain selection, that does actually change a little bit of the available trims that you can get. But on most of the models, you are looking at a 17-inch alloy on the lower end trim levels. And when you move up to the limited trim level, that's going to unlock the 19-inch alloys. So as you can see, we've got a new design for 2025. Again, it's very angular, just like the rest of the exterior design. And you also have the kind of squared off wheel arches, as well as lower body moldings across the lineup. Moving up here to the top, you have a silver accent that runs across through here. We have an LED turn signal, and all models will have heating and blind spot monitoring. Now moving on to the side, the length remains at about 183 inches long. And like I was saying, this is a very angular design. You really see here at the side where all these body lines kind of meet. It's very complex. Up top here, we've got a black roof rail. You're going to have silver trim on the top part for most of your models. Now, as we move around to the rear, this sees less changes than what you saw up in the front. You continue to have the signature, what we like to call fang taillights that kind of poke down. These are LED accented on most of your trim levels up here at the top. You also have the nice bar that runs all the way across between the two of them. Down here on the lower part, this is where you're going to find your turn signal and reverse light. Both of those elements are incandescent, so only one out of the three elements are LED. As you can see here, we do not have any exposed exhaust outlets. You've got a little bit of a silver finish for the limited trim, and all powertrains are rated to tow up to 2,000 pounds. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, it does continue to offer all four of the major active safety systems as standard equipment on every single trim level. Furthermore, your upper end trim levels will add in highway drive assist, as well as rear automatic braking, and the limited has smart park. But that's enough of the exterior. The interior is where the really big 2025 changes are. So let's go ahead and get into that. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, now it's time to get into the interior. First, of course, we'll take a quick look at the key fob. This is updated to the latest Hyundai key fob, which has that kind of H design. You do have standard smart entry as well as remote start. And then, like I mentioned, the limited gets the smart park here on the side. Now, getting inside the vehicle, just grab behind the handle. That will unlock the door. And then check out the interior. So if you're familiar with the pre-refresh, you'll notice that there's a lot of things that are very different about this interior. But before we get into all those specific changes, let's first start, as always, by talking about our seats and material options. So in terms of what you're going to begin with, that's going to be a cloth seat. Your middle trim levels will come with H-Tex, which is a faux leather. However, here on the limited trim level, this is where we're going to get a real leather. This is available in black, gray, or a new gray with green trim option. As you can see, really nice look to these seats. Lots of perforation throughout, little silver accent up there. These are comfortable seats as well. And in terms of our adjustments, these are going to be 8-way power with 2-way lumbar across the hybrid lineup. Memory seats are also going to be included on your upper trim levels, but let's go ahead and climb inside. Now getting inside and closing up the door, let's get into the rest of the cabin materials. So over here on our door trim, we have a full leatherette covering. You have piano black trim through here, cloth accent, leatherette accent with stitching, and then a soft touch plastic along the top. So we got a lot of layers of materials going on. As we move to the upper dashboard, Hyundai is now covering, at least here on the Limited, completely in a leatherette with stitching detail. We've got some cloth accent that's running through the center section. And then in our middle area, you're going to notice some more piano black accents. No padding, though, along the center tunnels for your knee to rest against. We'll go ahead and fire it up with our push button start. Now that it's fired up, let's not waste any time getting into the specific details. Now, right from the start here, we really have to just go ahead and address this new dual display arrangement. So previously, you kind of had a separated gauge cluster and integrated display in the dashboard. Now it's going to be a floating style, and it's going to be kind of one curved piece with two different displays inside of it. As far as the gauge cluster specifically is concerned, your upper trims are going to have a full 12.3-inch reconfigurable gauge cluster. You can change the design. You can also have features such as the blind spot camera system, which is going to be included on the limited trim level. Additionally, another new feature to the limited trim for 2025 is the fact that up top, you're now going to find a head-up display, which is something that a lot of the competition is not offering. Now pulling back, you'll notice we go past some rain sensing wipers, and we have a new steering wheel to the Tucson. This is a wheel that we've seen on some of the latest Hyundai products without the traditional H badge. It's a little squared off on the sides as well, and it is going to be leather wrapped on most of the models. We have manual tilt and telescoping. Heating will be included on your top end limited trim level. Now, off to the left-hand side of the screen, I do want to point out another new thing for 2025. We now have a fingerprint reader integrated right there. That's going to work with your Digital Key 2.0 system, just giving you that additional biometric verification. All right, so now let's get into interior storage, because this is really one of the single greatest things that Hyundai did to the interior this year, is just add a lot more versatility. So opening up our center console, first of all, as you can see, this is pretty deep. We do have a little bit of a felt lining down there at the bottom. But the big news is what is forward of that. So we've rearranged this console area. Now we have this kind of piece that's going to jut out and float above a really large open area where we can stick a lot of different objects through here. You've also got your USB connections up there, and then now laying out at the very top is going to be a wireless phone charging pad and your cup holders over here on the right-hand side. The other new storage addition is right here. We've got a passenger storage shelf. So as you can see, this is really a substantial piece of storage. A lot of places to stick loose objects like your cell phone, pack of gum, something like that. And this is really a big, big improvement over what you had previously. Now, why do you have that improvement? Well, that's the fact that many of your models, not all your models, but many of them are going to be moving to this new electronic column-mounted shifter. So all the hybrids will have this. The limited version of the ICE model is going to have this. And it just allows you to free up all this space. You're just going to twist out for drive. You do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Twist down for reverse. When you do that, this is going to bring up your 360-degree camera system if you choose the limited trim level. This is also going to give you front and rear parking sensors. You've got the active trajectory. And if you press that button right there, that will give you the 360 camera with the 3D view, and you can spin all around the vehicle itself. Then just press the end of the stalk there to go into park. Now continuing on to our climate controls, we have another nice change for 2025. That's the return of the physical knob here to make that main temperature adjustment. Previously, it was all going to be touch capacitive. Now, just these controls will still be touch capacitive, but the main one, which most people is using, is adjusting your temperature up and down. In terms of the actual, functionality of this is a dual zone automatic setup. It is standard on all hybrid models. Also standard on all hybrid models is 3-stage heated seats. Ventilated seats are going to be reserved for just the Limited. We've got a nice row of fully physical controls for our audio system as well. And on this top Limited trim level, as well as the hybrid inline, you are going to get the upgraded Bose sound system. So let's give that a sample right now. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this system is quite nice. It really fills up the cabin well, and it does have good bass. All right, now time to talk about some important technology upgrades with this main display. So obviously it is larger itself. It is a 12.3-inch display. It was previously 10.25 inches, but let's not waste any time. Let's talk about the thing that people care about most, and that's the fact that we have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay now across the entire lineup. So there you go. You can check that out yourself. It is indeed wireless. We're very happy that Hyundai has made this change. Now, in terms of the system itself, this is the same system that we first demonstrated in the new Santa Fe. It's called CCNC. It's the latest infotainment system. It's really a big improvement, much more responsive than the old version. Pairing your phone takes literally like 5 seconds. Upper trims will also come with a built-in navigation system as well. And on this hybrid model, you'll have dedicated screens to show you hybrid information right there. Moving above here, we've got the auto dimming mirror with our 3 HomeLink universal remotes. And then up on the roof, we've got a panoramic sunroof. I'm very impressed to tell you that all but the base blue hybrid will get this panoramic sunroof as standard. Now it's time to go ahead and check out the rear seats. By the way, if you're wondering where Mason is, he is on another program, actually overseas right now. So Josh and I are the ones here doing this 2025 Tucson. But with that being said, let's talk about these back seats here. So Tucson is one of the larger options in the segment that does bring you a lot of space into the back. You continue to have 41.3 inches of legroom and 39 inches of headroom. Those are both really, really nice figures for the segment. It's actually on paper going to be bigger than CR-V and RAV4. As far as what it's like in real life here, let's check that knee room measure. It looks like we are, let me turn that around the right way. We are looking at about 8.5 inches of knee space with this seat adjusted to my 5'8" driving position. I've got lots of space for my feet as well. I can really kind of stretch out and get very comfortable, especially when I pull this lever over here on the side and bring this seat back to its full recline. As you can see, this is really, really a nice place to spend time. Now, let's talk about some other things you'll find back here. You are going to have some air vents. You've got a couple USB ports down here at the bottom for charging. These are the C varieties. Fold down our armrest here. Of course, you've got your typical 2 cup holders on board. And then let's turn over here to our door trim. As far as materials are concerned, the only difference from the front is going to be that the top section is hard touch. The other materials are going to be the same as the front seats. I also want to point out that little button next to the window switch. That is your 3-stage heated seats. Those are included on the Limited trim level. And then last but not least, you do have some bottle storage at the bottom. Now walking up to this Limited, of course, we are going to have a smart opening power tailgate. And when this opens up, again, we're going to find really nice cargo figures. It continues to be one of the largest in the segment. Here on this hybrid model, we have a maximum of 74.5 cubic feet. You do have ever so slightly more if you choose the traditional gas-powered model, and the plug-in hybrid will limit that down a decent amount due to the battery. In terms of what you find behind the second row, you're looking at 38.7 cubic feet. Again, very good numbers for this segment. In terms of this back area, one thing I really like that most of the competition does not include is the fact we have this handle. This will allow us to go ahead and fold those seats down so we can see what that maximum amount of cargo space looks like. And when I get the armrest out of the way so that they're folded completely flat, we can go ahead and get some cargo dimensions. That is a signature thing we like to do at Car Confections. See how much length you have from the driver's seat to the back here. You're looking at 73 inches. If we take that back to the second row here, we're looking at about 38 inches. The cargo opening, we have 41 inches. And then our cargo height, we're going to be looking at 29 inches. Those are all pretty good figures. Of course, if it's not enough for you, you can always upgrade to the Santa Fe, which gives you that really wide opening. Underneath of here, you're going to find some additional storage, but the hybrid model does not have a spare tire. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what you'll find under the hood. So our powertrains are mostly carryover for 2025. The traditional gas-only or ICE option is going to be exactly the same. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine making 187 horsepower. Now our two hybrid variants, those are going to be slightly revised to have a little bit more power. Your regular hybrid is a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired with your electric componentry to make a total system power of 231 horsepower. And then your plug-in hybrid is obviously going to be substantially more powerful than that, coming in at 268 horsepower. Now, in terms of your transmission options, you have a conventional 8-speed automatic on your ICE variant and 6-speed automatics on both of your hybrid variants. Front-wheel drive will be standard on your gas options, and all-wheel drive is available. Hybrids will always be all-wheel drive exclusive. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your fuel economy as well. So if you're looking at just the gas options, you have a maximum of 28 miles per gallon combined for your front-wheel drive variant. If you choose the hybrid blue trim all-wheel drive, that has 38 miles per gallon combined. All the other trims, though, will come in at 35 miles per gallon combined. And then finally, your plug-in hybrid will get you 32 miles of pure electric range. Now, of course, this is the part where you like to see how those figures actually translate to the road. And we will be doing that, but not quite yet. So we are under a driving impression embargo for now. So you will have to come back at the date down below to our channel to see our driving impressions, where we're going to take this out on the road, show you the performance. We're going to get things like our signature sound level reading so that you can see how quiet it is compared to the competition. But for now, of course, out of respect for our fellow journalists as well as Hyundai, we will be honoring that driving impressions embargo until the date below. All right, let's talk a little bit about pricing now. So our base price for 2025, which would be the ICE engine with front-wheel drive on the SE trim, is $28,355. Now, obviously, it is going to, you have a lot of different trim levels, a lot of powertrain choices, so a lot of different options in terms of pricing. This limited hybrid model is going to start at $40,945. There's not really many options that you can do on top of this, so your final price is going to be what we see on the screen today. Now, if you want to find your best price on a Hyundai Tucson or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. When you do that, that's going to connect you to local dealerships in your area, which will get you access to the best price, as well as access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to find out more information about that, click the link in the description below or also the pinned comment at the top. Now let's go ahead and talk about potential resale value and reliability to make sure you are making a smart purchase. First, we'll talk about resale value. Mason is an economics graduate, so him and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this vehicle's potential resale value. We estimate this will be worth 55.35% after 5 years and 60,000 miles, and 19.61% after 10 years. This is good overall resale value, although it is less than the Japanese competition.
Now, we've also done the same for predicted reliability by creating the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account of information from trusted automotive resources. Based on this metric, Hyundai is slightly below industry average.
If you'd like to check out all our data as well as learn about our methodology, make sure you head over to carconfections.com/resale value and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a big decision, so you want to make sure you are making a smart purchase. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, make sure you go down below and click subscribe. When you subscribe, that tells manufacturers that you find our content useful and helpful in your purchasing decisions. And that's why they invite us out to see all the latest content today in California. If you're already a fan and subscriber, we thank you for your continued support. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.